Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk, where joy meets insight and curiosity leads the way. I'm Gerald, TarotStache, your delighted guide through this spirited conversation. Around here, we believe that laughter opens the door to learning, and every light bulb moment is a little bit of magic. In this episode, I'm joined by Hershe, the Shadow Reader, for a conversation that might stir your soul and your supply closet. What do we do with tools that no longer work for us? Whether it's a frayed robe, a quiet tarot deck, a chipped chalice, or a well worn wand, there comes a time when every sacred tool asks to be released or reimagined. Together, we're going to explore how magical and spiritual traditions honor this moment through ritual, remembrance, and sometimes a little grief. And we'll ask the deeper questions too. Is this tool broken, or are we just someone new? So there you go. Thanks, everybody, for joining this Laugh and Learn and Magic Tool Talk. I am joined by the amazing Hershe, the Shadow Reader. Hi, Hershe.
Everybody, hello, hi.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being
Absolutely.
here.
You
And
know it's where it's at.
there you go. I'm TarotStache. Thank you for being here. And this just in, not really, but both Hershe and Gerald do private readings. Contact information is below. So if you need a reading, now's a great time to contact us. So, Hershe, what have you been doing before we jump into this really amazing topic? And uh, I haven't prepared at all.
Hey, overachiever, just make me look bad just a little more. No.
No. Yes, I am an overachiever.
I
So,
have to own it. This is my first
but
time at a laugh and learn that I'm not actually over prepared with a notebook and lots and lots and lots of notes. So I'm kind
it's
of
really,
enjoying
yeah,
this empty hand conversation today. So actually, I've been honing in on my clients a lot more, spending a lot more time with my clients, a lot less time online. I've been kind of focusing on specifically staying very orientated in
mhm,
my channel. I
that's lovely.
just finished some people's scavenger hunts because next season starts on August 2nd. And don't worry, you're on the list, Gerald. You're coming back.
I
So
know I'm on the list, but my
I
therapist,
know you're on the list.
my therapist is suggesting, that I proceed with caution.
Well, we must invent and bring to life something other than just one bluebird.
There you
So
go. And yes, look, there it is, the long-awaited TarotStache Bluebird, available in the merch store. So, and
love
and
the bluebird.
and by the way, you can also, if you are so inclined, get a TarotStache sticker, TarotStache Bluebird sticker. And I know Tom from Early Ritual isn't here. I'm about ready to send him one. So, just to do that. And also, there's a cute little, it's the
Aw.
TarotStache's house with the little bluebird in front of it sticker.
Okay, I know what I'm ordering next. I know I need both of them. Okay, okay, okay.
So, so yeah, oh, and purchase responsibly, know your limits. We're here to share, not to sell. We are here to make sure that we're covering some really good information here. This idea of, oh, look, I have a banner for this. Um, there you go. I call it sacred tool disposal. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. Stick here. Stay with us because all of the best chatters are popping in and saying hi. So, hello, best chatters. Hello, work lurkers. Hello, best lurkers, and hello, future lurkers. We invite you to come along with us on this topic. So, Hershe, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to take a sip, and you want to tell people how we came up with this idea?
On the last show.
Yeah, it was
I don't remember the words, but
well,
we can
no,
find our topic in every one of our
yeah,
current shows. So
no,
in this show, we'll find our next one. I promise. It just seems to
yes,
work out that way for at least the last year and some change between Uncle G and I. We're
yes,
like, we like that. We're gonna do that. Let's do it.
yeah, and yeah. Oh, and Mo says Jane needs a bluebird. Well, yes, and Jane,
Yes. Wait.
so
Wait,
um,
wait, refresh my memory. I can go back, but is it Jane or is it Tom? Who were you up against when the bluebird got literally brought to life? I will go back through my scavenger hunts if I can
I
not
think
figure
I
it out.
was
What was
against.
it?
Wasn't I against Heather?
Oh, I didn't even think about
Oh
Heather.
no,
Was it
no,
Heather?
it was
I thought it
Jane.
was
It was
Jane or
Jane.
Tom.
It's Jane. Okay.
Me, she says me. So
So
yes,
yes,
Jane.
and Mo is supporting. So
We are the originators of it. You know, I wrote it and Gerald lost it and now it's brought to life. So
you
yeah.
sound it sounds like I totally lost it, but oh,
Well, it
so
was pink. I
I
watched
see.
the episode.
Oh gosh, I
It
see a
was
lot of
pink.
people here. Thank you. And one of the things, so Hershey and I were in our tips and tricks show last month, which is linked in the description, as are the Laugh and Learns and Magic Tool Talk. We were talking about a variety of things, and it was like, well, what do you do with tools that no longer work for you? So of course, what did I do? I wrote it down because this is a good topic of conversation. As always, this is based upon our experience, no one else's. I do have a little bit of information about disposing of sacred tools, and it's a cross traditional insights and practices. So I'm going to share a few of those because um, I think the bluebird should be a toucan. I okay. So a lot of times when we think of magical tools, we're thinking maybe things in relation to witchcraft, Wicca, or paganism, like an athame or a chalice, wands, ritual garb, oracle decks, tarot decks, sanctuary or statuary or altar items. And a lot of times, when in the practices with deconsecration, what you do is you formally thank the tool, you cleanse it, and then you do an elemental return of some sort. So bury it uh, with so that's earth. Fire, you would burn it with intention. Water, you can give it back to the earth using flowing water, or air to after you've burned it. Then you can release that into the air. So, um, and so, and so sometimes there's the idea you can retire things or you could pass them on. Sometimes in different circle traditions and different covens, certain things get passed to one from one person to another. So that's something to consider. In Catholicism, sacred tools include Bibles, rosaries, vestments, statues, and blessed items. And it's a really important thing that once an item is blessed, that it should never casually be thrown away. Disposal should be very reverent. So, and sometimes in Catholicism, there's the burning or burial of items that are to be gone. So here's a great quote from John Beckett that said, "If something was used in sacred work, it deserves respectful disposal, even if it's not useful anymore."
I agree with that.
So yeah. Jane the Seeker said, "Do not spray water on your dowsing rods. I sprayed mine with holy water and they went all wackadoodle." I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. So,
I wouldn't either. I
yeah,
wouldn't either. Oh wow. Are they calmed down? Have they calmed down?
yeah, yeah. And so there's also in some traditions where they have like beaded necklaces or sacred stones or statual ritual items. um, what one might do is pay attention because these tools are considered alive. They're
Hmm.
considering they're considered living. So a ceremonial farewell, offerings, and prayers accompany the disposal. And basically, items are not sold or given away to outsiders that do not share that tradition.
Hmm.
So that's an important thing.
You really did your homework.
Yes, I did. So here's something else. Everyday tools can be sacred tools as well because it's intent, isn't it? Intent has something to do. So, like a paintbrush, a pot scrubber. What do you do? How do you dispose of those? So that's something that we can think about. I did find a quote, something: "It's inappropriate to sell or give away sacred objects outside the faith. They are treated as family or ancestral beings."
Hmm.
So a lot of times people may come across they may come across tools at a thrift store, something along those lines. If you do that, I highly encourage you to pay attention to what you're doing, that you're doing so respectfully. Cleanse it. Cleanse it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. OMG, the items with energy, it's, yes, in them is real. Absolutely. So, Hershey, I'm going to pause there. Do you have any thoughts about all of this stuff that I've said in general about sacred tool disposal?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So like every part of my being wanted to just literally jump and like take over the conversation when you said that, but I had to be patient and
Hey,
wait, right? Because I
jump
didn't
now.
want to misunderstand what you were saying, but I was so hoping you actually said that. So, um, ooh, I strongly want to say that yes, I agree with that 100%. I if it's sacred and it's not going to be passed down, then I am going to gift it back to sacred ground.
Yes.
Whether if it's a paintbrush, they may make me cut the hairs. If it's hair, if it's like genuine horsehair, or if it's genuine good bristles that's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
hurt the land or the ground, they may have me cut the bristles off and then give the wood back to nature and give the
Yeah.
birds or whoever's going to make a nest with that was cut free.
Yes.
Um, I've had a lot of opportunities. I lived in what some people know to be, I believe, let's see, what was the word? Oh, it's called Cahokia Mounds, right? So it's
Mm.
incredibly powerful sacred land. All of the Cahokia area. So, like when you cross East St. Louis and go pretty much all the way to the backside of Springfield, Illinois, pretty much
Uh-huh.
all of that is the Cahokia Mounds, and it's very much very sacred. The Mississippians used to live there, and because they were so open with their practices and their religions and their teachings and their followings, they allowed all that were open to growth to live there, whether you were a monk or a
Mm-hmm.
Viking or a
Sure.
pagan or whatever your nationality was or your belief or your faith. If you believed in the ability of sacred land, you were able to live in that area that
Yes.
was sacred in the Midwest, right?
Hmm.
So I grew up in that area. So I would get a calling to bring something because there's a certain spot in the Cahokia Mountains where it's actually swampland, and we can't, like, where does the swampland come from? You would think in the
Uh-huh.
Midwest there'd be no swampland, right? But unfortunately, it's the exact opposite. There is this weird swampy area, and it's far into the mounds area. Like, it is a walk, right? And me and
Hmm.
my cousin used to walk it regularly, and me and Brandy would just be walking around, and one day we lucked up on this swamp. Now, we had heard about it our whole life, but we'd never found it, and we walked almost every path you could think of, but we couldn't find it. This one day, we both had trash to get rid of, and it was sacred trash. It was things we were done with, but all we
Yes.
knew is that we needed to walk there. Right, right. We got there, and then we just started walking. And literally the dragonflies and the butterflies led us to it. The butterflies led Brandy, or and the dragonflies led me, or vice versa. I don't remember. It's been years ago. But they literally led us to the exact tree that her and I both saw, and we knew right on the other side of that tree was going to be the swamp, and we knew
Yeah.
we could release these sacred items there, and they would be um, the swamp would take it over and eventually would cleanse it, return it back to a elemental state, and the magic and everything that was done with good intentions would be able to be paid forward into the land, whether it was the trees, the grass, the butterflies,
Yes.
the flowers, just the good vibes. So I love that you said that because I have so many amazing stories of so many of my sacred tools can be found throughout the Cahokia Mountains.
Yeah, that's
And
really
a few down
important.
here in the South. I'm learning to discard them through the South now, so it's getting better and better for me for release.
Well, and I do think it is important to notice that what is it that you are disposing, and do so appropriately, because for me, if I had salt that some black salt that needed to be recycled or something with that, I am not going to put that on the earth, because in my mind I never salt the earth. So we have to pay attention to that. Tina said, and clean anything before giving it away as well. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It was
So,
like a staple. Is that may not be a staple. When you grow up with a lot of magic in your life, you tend to see how the elders, the matriarchs, the patriarchs, how they
yes.
respect those tools, right?
Yes.
And you learn to build your own levels of respect. Even if the tool isn't meant for you, you still understand that because you value this person's opinion and they respected it, I need to have some level of respect when dealing with
Yes.
this, whether it's destined
Hmm.
for me or not. I have to keep that utmost respect there because it is ultimately only a tool. It's not made to be a toy, and it's probably not meant for a long time, but it's definitely meant for a specific job in your life.
Yeah. I think it is important that things, sacred tools can be anything that you use with great intention. So, I mean, that's an important thing. And Mo has asked Gerald, how would you dispose of black salt?
Good question.
I might actually flush it, put it down the sewer, something like that. Uh, and so I wonder, so something like that. Why are you doing that? Is that something that you would do with it as well, or not?
So all I'm hearing in the background of my head is Miles is saying, "Well, we keep telling people, where do you put trash at? You put trash in the trash."
Yeah.
So
Yep.
once it's served its purpose, if it is a man-made object, usually it becomes trash intentionally because it was made to run
Yeah.
its course, and then when its magic and energy was done, it kind of goes cold anyway. So it's already knowing it was created for a very short period of time.
Well, and you bring up a very good question, and this is one of the questions that I posted in the description. What's a magical, creative, or spiritual tool you've outgrown or that seems to resist your touch lately? I think so. And, I want people to feel free in the chat to comment. What's a magical, creative, or spiritual tool you've outgrown or seems to resist your touch lately? Just asking you to identify something with that. And Mo, there's a lot of recycling that happens with that, so I wouldn't consider it that way. There's a whole lot of processing that goes on with that, but I'm not putting on salt on the earth that would kill plants.
True.
That said, I don't think I have one. Okay. Do you
I don't
have
know if it's
one?
one. I tend to find certain specific like lines of something aren't usually meant for me, right? So if it's made in the image, essence, or value of, let's say, alkaline, it's probably not meant for me. Now that can be
Mm,
literally taken and misconstrued in a lot of different ways, but I'm literally saying I am meant for um, the really heavy, um, painful things of life, right? We have to have that kind of balance, right? So usually in my life, liquid light or anything that has a lot of I don't wanna say like Reiki, but Reiki is not a thing that's mine, right? But it is a thing
hmm.
that I don't practice. It's not
Yes.
my lane. I am a root worker, I am a shadow worker. So Reiki is like literally like we are we're
It's
yin and
just
yang. We
different.
work together,
Yeah.
we just don't do the same
Yep.
thing. So
Hmm.
I have to make sure that my tools stay in my lane. If it's not a
Right.
tool for my lane, I'm usually out of my depths and I don't know what to do with it to begin with.
I think that's a really good statement. Is um, It's about selecting the tools. What tools does one need? Does one need tools? So that's I'm going to write this down. Selecting appropriate tools.
Yeah.
Hashtag stay tuned. That may be a future laugh and learn. So, um, okay. Okay. So we have a couple of, apparently Timmy, who is going to be on with, Jamie and me in a couple of hours, says his, unit. That's too bad. So Hershe's not looking at that. I mean, tarot decks, I don't jive with. I tend to gift on.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yep, yep. And I love tarot and oracle. Obviously, I have a nice little library that I have intentionally
Hmm.
grown to be at this beautiful number that I'm at, and I'm proud of it. But I intentionally avoid specific kind of decks. And even
Yes.
when they find me in a love box, a mystery box, or somebody is just literally just gifting me something as a channel donation, if it's not my lane, trust me, I don't even put my chaos into it because I'm about to give this to someone else. So the last thing I'm
Correct.
going to do is allow any of me to be a part of it because I'm going to recall all of my energy and shoo it away because it's not that I don't want it. It's not that I don't love it or appreciate the art and think that it is absolutely freaking amazing. I just know that it's freaking amazing for someone else. And I need to make sure that
Yes.
as the receiver of it, I get it to the person it's
Yeah.
destined to reach.
Well, and magical or creative or spiritual tools. I think when we consider this, they can include crystals. They can include necklaces, earrings, a shirt, clothing, things that have a lot of buildup of power with them. And I know I'm looking at the chat. I know some of you have just a few crystals. And so I have actually needed recently to rearrange some of the tools that I have been working with, like my tarot decks. I did a show last week where we were talking about altars and brainstorming altars. There's a few things that I need to transition out. Certain incense burners, some statuary is just
Oh,
needing to be different.
mhm.
So there's an important thing about that. Millie said things that outgrow tend to disappear from my life or break.
Yeah,
That,
break.
yep.
Break, or they literally like, okay, so I'm gonna give an example, and Jane is in the chat. So about a year ago, I was having one of them moments and I was arguing with one of my angels, and I literally was being the most hard-headed self I could be, and I had a new angel coming in, and I had just started working with a very specific kind of monk, and it was a silent monk. So I was
Mhm.
enjoying working with the silence of this very, very wonderful, powerful monk. But then I had this angel that was just like, but you don't have and I remember very specifically, I touched a yellow adventuring. I'm not kidding you. I touched a yellow adventuring and it shocked me. And it wasn't because I was being negative, it was because I was refusing something, right? And I went
Interesting.
to touch it. And now I'm not kidding you. Every time I would touch that stone, I would get shocked. I would get a bad vibe. It would be just
Mm,
literally everywhere in my way. I'm like, why do I keep having to move you? Why do I keep having to touch you? And it was Jane who said, well, how many times are you going to keep sticking your finger in a light socket? Go bury the damn thing. And I'm like, oh, I I threw it for a curve, right? It had a very specific job to do, and because I was in a denial place to begin with, I was
yes,
denying the power, the energy, the gift, the abundance, the lesson. I was
that's smart.
denying all of it, so therefore it was my own chaos energy I was feeling that I introduced to an innocent tool, and now I can't even work with that tool, and it's buried in Houston right now because I did not wanna see it for what it was. I just thought it was something light, and it was in my way more than anything else because I wasn't
Hmm.
open to what it actually was.
Yeah, that's very insightful and wisdom from Jane the Secret Tarot.
Yeah, but it took Jane to
So
tell me. She's like, "Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna keep it there." And I think, like, a week later, she said, "It's still on your desk, ain't it?" And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going outside right now to bury it because literally she could tell that it was still just so chaotic, and she was like, "It's
yes,
still sitting right in your face, isn't it? Why are you lying to yourself? Hershey, go
yes,
bury it." And instantly, as soon as that last bit of dirt went over it, everything, it was like the wave, the tsunami wave just went right on back down, and the water went so calm and still, and I'm like,
yes. Well, and
"Oh,
I think what's
man."
really I think what's really important is that we grow and evolve just like our tools do. Some tools get more powerful just because of the nature. There's a lot of people in the chat who have a great deal of information and understanding about crystals and how crystals work with that. That's beautiful. And sometimes there seems to be this idea of resisting your touch. That happens to me with tarot decks. I have a couple of different tools that, so it happens with tarot decks. It also happens with magical tools, and that's why I have different ones. But you brought up something important, and it goes to this question. How do you know when a tool is no longer working for you? Is it physical wear or something deeper?
Deeper. To me,
So I
it's
would,
deeper.
yeah, I want people to in the chat to comment on that. It's like, how do you know? How do you know?
So another example for me, just because that's all I have is life examples. So I won one of Brian Blessing Nerd Tarot's giveaways one
Uh-huh.
year. It's been like 3 or 4 years ago, right? And I won this amazing deck. Now I still got the deck, but guess who's never used the deck? Nor do I give it away because I won it and it's a gift, and so it's just there to look pretty at this point, but I've never touched the deck. I've never shuffled the deck. The
Interesting.
deck and me do not get along, and I've got 3 other decks by the same artist, and I use them all the time. So it's not the artist or the artwork. It's literally the deck, and I'm just not meant to do it.
Yeah. And that, that'll go into our question 3. So we've had a few people. So how do you know when a tool is no longer working for you? And Kaylee says, I mean, I've heard people's crystals breaking in two. Yes.
Exploding, shocking. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird
Yeah.
ways.
I am a person who, and it's been a long time since, but I cannot work with hematite.
Really?
It
Okay.
it breaks. It breaks for me. So Timmy said, "Time changes everything. Tools move on, and so do we." Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and um, uh, and so also Kaylee said, "For me, I've not had anything stop working as of yet." And this is a really important point because you may never have something stop working for you. Great. There are some tools I believe that grow and evolve just as the user does, and there is a symbiotic relationship with them.
Mhm.
So, and so Jane said, "My stones will take a hit for me. I can tell because they get a dark spot or a crack. Yes, that's a very important, powerful tool.
I know when
Magic,
I was a listener and something like that happened, like scratches, literally right in our face, just started showing up on one of my crystals, and we were like, "Oh my god, it's doing its job, but
yep.
dang!" Like, literally right in our face, the
Oh yeah,
lines were
definitely.
showing up, and it's like, "Oh my god." Yes.
Yes, yes." Magic by Moonlight said, I've had a crystal wand that broke in half when it was done with me. Yep. And Joshua said, I had an adventuring bracelet break on me as I walked into a Patagonia store. A sign I need more adventure?
Maybe do not enter.
Well, and what's one of the things that's also important is I have a teacher who actually said, if a certain tool that I have, it's a necklace that I wear, she says, if it breaks, call me immediately because I need to know what was going on. So it goes back to that idea of something could be managing and doing some things for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you was talking about like tools and like if it's meant for like hereditary or to be passed down, I have some of those kind of tools, right? I have this
Mhm.
gorgeous, beautiful athlame. I have this beautiful gem that Jonathan made. I
Mhm.
have a couple other that were specifically made for me that are going to be passed down to my children or grandchildren.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think that, hereditary magic makes the n item more powerful, but it could just be me and my wanting it to be that way, and it's not actually that way, and I'm manifesting it because I want it to be. But that is where I believe, and I believe that every time it's passed down in the true righteous way, I believe that it gains a part of us to carry us
Yes.
with it as it's growing and learning
Yes.
and teaching the next generation.
I love that. I love that. And Jane said, we need to be very aware of the energy that our crystals carry. We might want to cleanse them when you can, uh, e- especially those you wear. True.
Yes, yes, yes.
And of course, adventuring helps with money. I think it was telling you Patagonia is too expensive.
Well, what's the yellow telling me? Because it doesn't like me.
Yeah. So, thank you for jumping in here. And I think for me, it is oftentimes something deeper where the energy that used to be there is no longer connecting with me.
Mhm.
So, I'm phrasing that very carefully because sometimes, I've had tools that break. I actually had a wand that I used quite a bit that broke for me. That I actually mended. I did some of the kintsugi like that. I fixed it because that's what it needed. Uh, because the physical wear is one thing, but boy, the energetic is just like, yeah, we're done with that. And so part of it is when that happens, I have to honor it. Excuse me. I choose to honor that when I sense that energy. It does not discount the beauty and the experiences that we've had together and what energy we've created together. It's just sometimes it's like I need to put it in timeout. Especially I do that with tarot decks. I go, all right,
Sure.
let's put you in the back for a while and see how things are going. So
I can relate to that. I definitely have a purgatory spot. And some have never made it out of it, and some of them have never seen it. But and mine again, I have to go with mine's like a physical reaction. I get a shock, I get a feeling, I get an extreme amount of pressure in my head. When it's done with me, or I'm just being hard headed and I just want it there because I like it and I'm not actually, it's not serving me or I'm not serving it. There's usually a bit of physical,
yes.
whether it shatters so that I can't put my hands on it again,
Hmm.
or it literally goes ice cold. I have a deck right now, no matter how many times I shuffle it, it's ice cold every single time I touch it. But it's not because it's not a damn good deck, it's because the deck isn't meant for me, and I haven't figured
Absolutely.
out who it's supposed to go to, so it's ice cold, right?
Yes.
So if it's cold, if there's a physical pain, if there is a pressure that would not normally be there, and it's not excitement or adrenaline, then I absolutely know it's the tool itself saying, "Hands off me, don't touch me."
Yes.
Like I'm having that donkey moment, and I'm the dragon giving unwanted physical contact to a tool that
Yes.
isn't meant for me.
Well, and also sometimes if it's cold, part of what I would keep in mind is when do you need that cold to help you with the work that you're doing? Remember that's a signal that the tool is giving you. It's
Mhm.
like I'm cold. Now here's something else that I've done. I've actually given tools away because I've had the tools who are I've had tarot decks that are just like going, thanks, I need to go home with that person. You need to give me to that person. I've done that with jewelry. I've done that with stones. So that's something important to keep in mind. Okay,
Yes.
moving right along to our next question. And this, you sort of mentioned something like this. Have you ever held onto a ritual item out of guilt, nostalgia, or obligation? What kept you from letting it go? Hershey, I always make you go first. So I'm going to go first this time. I have kept a ritual item out of nostalgia and obligation. Guilt doesn't usually work for me. If I'm having guilt, there's something else going on with that. There's something unfinished. So that tool and I have a conversation. A conversation. We do something about that to figure out what is there.
Mhm.
But some things I do keep out of obligation. I have kept out of obligation, and what I have done with them is I put them into a box or in a place, and I put it away as an archive. I treat it respectfully. I'm covering it with some cloth, something like that. I'm putting it into a box. I'm labeling that box. I'm usually dating it because hashtag overachiever Gerald. And I'm putting what is in there so that I can honor that, because there's some things I'm not getting rid of. Like, and for instance, one of the things that I have is I have a family cookbook. It's a it's a magic tool.
Yes.
I'm not getting rid of that. I'm not getting rid of that at all. So, and absolutely the nostalgia of it. I mean, nostalgia is beautiful, especially if that tool for me reminds me of an individual. I will put that with my ancestor box. So when it comes time to remember ancestors, I will do that. You know, okay, a sacred tool, a wedding band. I have wedding bands or commitment bands from my previous two partners. I have them. I respect them. They are part of my past. They have brought me to where I am. I'm not getting rid of them. Period.
Mhm. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So,
Um, I don't actually know. So this is probably gonna sound like a bunch of rambling.
ooh,
Yes,
ramble.
I Yep, yes, I do. I intentionally keep these things, now I shorthand them and I call them DOs. What are DOs? DOs are dark objects. Dark objects are things that called for me to come get it, to neutralize it, keep it clean, keep it safe, or return the energy back to Earth, right?
Hmm.
So that means that some human got greedy, lustful, mean, decided to turn something natural into something unnatural, and now it's not even its truest form anymore. A lot of times, and I don't know how many times, I will tell you guys all the time, properties or locations will call for me. The Jennifer house, the Paula Sims house, actually Alton, Illinois, because of how haunted it is. Different individuals. I've got another cemetery here where I'm at that is calling me. They need me to come. I need to leave something sacred, but I'm also going to find the DO that's there, that somebody intentionally put there to
Yes.
keep it miserable, sad, cold,
Yes.
depressed, hurt, longing, unfulfilled, unseen, unfelt, unloved, all of that. I'm going to go hunt this object out, and I'm going to keep it intentionally. And there's not no one, no way, no how that is ever going to make me part from it. And when I go, I've already assigned the box and everything that's inside the box to the next protector, and that person will pick up the reins. And when they are drawn to a object, of DO quality, they will have a safe place to put it once it's been
Yes.
neutralized and cleansed and re-put back into its original position
I
and
love that.
place being, regardless of what it is. I have straight pins, I have rings, I have earrings, I have screws, I have nuts, I have bolts, I have things I can't explain, and I can't tell you how I know, but I know that someone decided to turn something normal and natural and elemental into something that is not supposed to do this. And
Yeah.
because of that, there is a pulse, there is a heartbeat that I can hear,
Yeah.
like the lone wolf that can hear their cubs' heartbeat. I can hear this DO saying, "Help me, help me, help me, come help me." And
Yeah.
I will put the miles in and I will find a way to get to that location, and I will do everything I can to neutralize the property, get rid of the negative, remove the devil, the demon, the whatever, and then safely find the DO and then keep it nice and safe so that no one else can be tempted to do something irrational, harmful, and hurtful to not just the object or the land or the property, but ultimately their self, because you're literally selling and giving a part of your
Yep.
soul away to transmute something natural into unnatural. So that means you have to lose a part of your natural self to become something else. So there is a whole system to what I do and how I do it. But yes, 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 and I cannot tell you much more than that. But yes, intentionally, yes, I do, and yes, I will, and I hope I never stop.
Boom.
If I
That's what
had
you do.
my
Yeah.
Fogo Pogo right now, I would do the same thing.
Well,
But I don't
and
have
I
my
think
finger.
I think it's an important thing to understand that that is part of the work you do.
Yes, it
So
is.
part of the work you do is that you are keeping these things in a way that they can't, they're not able to be harmed. You know, as you were describing that, it reminds me of the TV show Warehouse 13.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I totally love that. I am down with that. So we have a few people who came in, and oh, look, Deborah Zachow is here. Grow Your Light with Deborah Zachow, who will be on a show, a creativity conversation next week. You know, Deborah Zachow of the Decode Tarot fame and the When Life Knocks You Off You're Happy, you know,
I love it.
purchase
I love it. Love
responsibly, know your limits. Yes, family cookbooks are grimoires. Yes, yes.
I love
Mm.
recipes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This month in the temple I go to here, they celebrated Obon. It's
Mhm,
honoring the dead and ancestors. Just
mhm.
lost two family members. I needed to be there. Absolutely.
Yes.
And so so yeah. Yes, yes. Hershey does see all. So yes, yes. Um okay. So there was a question about from Millie.
Mhm.
What's your take on Lost Wedding Band?
Ooh, depending it depends. If you willingly took it off, it's usually not a dark object, but if it's forcefully removed, there's a part that becomes hurt. There's a part that becomes unwilling to give up that vow because one person made a vow with good intentions and one not so much. So when a ring gets ripped off of a finger, a vow gets broken within the person, whether they're the ones that put
Mhm.
it on or not. When we make a vow, a commitment to not just ourselves, but to someone else, and then that someone else takes our vow from us, it can and will usually become a DO. And I do have people, I'm not kidding you, my DO box grows rapidly because it started out as like a little jewelry box. And then the more I
Yeah,
collected or the more that found me, my box kept growing. And now my box is well, it's a nice size box and I still have plenty of room, but I'm about ready to upgrade because I love when people say, I can't have this no more, Hershey. I don't know why I'm sending it to you, but I'm
yeah.
sending it to you. Well, that's because the object told you who to send it to
There
so
you
that it
go.
can be neutralized, cleansed,
Cheers.
and
Yes,
placed back into the proper state of being.
absolutely.
If I'm
I
in the
also
area, they can sense me and they will start humming or calling for me, and
yeah.
I will know.
I would also say, Millie, sometimes losing a wedding band is just losing a wedding band.
Yeah, yeah.
So and so okay, so we have another question, which is here you go. What might be a respectful or beautiful goodbye? Might a respectful or a beautiful goodbye look like for a well used magical tool? Hot.
Consecrated, consecrated first. Returning the magic that was given to the object is the best way that you can honorably say, I'm setting you back free. Like, I wish, as in all intents and purposes, that you could put me in a boat and then catch the boat on fire and send me out to water and just let me go. Let me have my true Viking goodbye, right? With that being said, it's kind of the exact same thing. You want to consecrate the item. It doesn't matter if it's living, if it's organic, if it is not neither living nor organic, it's strictly materialistic. Consecrate it. That would be me. Consecrate it. Give it back to the earth first, and
Mhm.
then let it have rest. And that rest is completely up to the universe. We as humans should have no say so in how long that rest should be because it was the universe
Uh-huh.
that appointed it to become a tool in the first
Sure.
place. So,
Yes.
therefore, the universe should be the only one that can say when the rest is up. But that's just my opinion.
I think that's a beautiful opinion. I also think for me, part of it is to do a goodbye or a farewell that feels appropriate for the tool and for you and the relationship that you and the tool had.
That's right. That's right.
So, for instance, if I still had my grandmother's wooden spoon and it broke and it's really not repairable, part of it is okay, I want to send this on its way. I want to remember. And then, maybe because it's me, I might actually go, okay, let me go find another spoon. And then I'm going to set the two of them next to each other so that they can have a sense of understanding and that connection.
They can
So,
share a
yes, yes,
familiarity. Oh, I
yes.
love that. I love that.
And so sometimes that well used magical tool just is ready to go. Whoo, we're done,
Yep.
and it's
Yep. Time
okay.
to go. flavor I can handle.
Yes, yes. Um, Beth said, Hershey, funny story. When I sent you those decks, they all wanted to go to you except the Kira Marchetti, which was the one you already had. I ignored the message and sent it anyway.
Thank you for that because I knew exactly who needed it. I don't know how to tell you. Like when tools and things and you beautiful gems send me something, even if you know I already have it, just like I recently went through with one of my mystery unboxings, right? It wasn't that they knew I had the deck. They knew I had the deck, but they also know that I have got the opportunity to reach one, teach one, and this deck is going to teach
Yeah.
someone something that they don't know they need. So let me make sure that I can get it to somebody that can reach the person it's meant to instead of letting it sit here. Because if nobody's touching it and nobody's using it, then nobody is putting it to its
Yes.
calling either. And if you're not using it as its calling, then please pay it forward. I'm not going to be mad if it's something that I gave you or if it's something that was given to me. If I can't resonate with it, then I expect you to know that I ultimately found its forever home. I was just the middleman, and I'm okay with that.
Yes. I also think for magical tools that I have created,
Mm,
such as a wand, I will take those pieces and parts. I will separate it. I will actually go, okay, let's take the crystal off, let's take the leather off, let's take the copper off, those things, because those can actually be repurposed.
mhm.
I'm a big fan of burying things that no longer serve when it's appropriate. So, and sometimes I see things at a used store, a thrift store, and it's like, ooh, because I know this was a powerful, powerful tool for someone, and I've brought them home just because I'm like, this does not need to be sitting here, and I'm so sorry. I have absolutely no use for it,
Mhm.
but I want it to be in my presence. So
I do so. My God, like everything in me is going, man, I wish Mo was in the room right now and not work lurking because I know she would be saying, exactly, Gerald, I can't take Hershey anywhere because it doesn't matter if it's meant for her or not. If she knows that she's walking out of here, she won't put it down. Like, I don't care what it is. I will walk around the entire store and I may be looking like Oompa Loompa and not care what somebody's going to think about me because I'm walking around. I
yeah,
walked around one of the biggest flea markets in the Panhandle for about 3 hours with four clowns one very recent Saturday because I couldn't set them down. I did not want anything else or anyone else to hurt them, so I just kept holding them and neutralizing them and letting them know,
yep,
I love you guys. I love you guys. And they're just four terracotta old fashioned clowns, but they hadn't felt love in so long.
of
These little
course,
gorgeous, beautiful vessels needed somebody that has nothing to give
yep,
but hope, and I was there and I rescued them and I brought them home. And now I cannot wait to regift them to the right person that
I
is
love
going to
that.
ultimately need the filled vessel that's full of hope.
Absolutely. A few comments in chat. Beth said, absolutely, Hershey. I just want decks to be appreciated.
Me too,
Yes.
me too. They are pieces of art.
Jane the Seeker Tarot, who is coming home soon, said,
Yes.
things move through me. I had a bird that needed a true home, and I connect people. Example, Hershey and Mo.
Oh,
There you go.
lost without my superhero, y'all, and y'all know that Mosaic, otherwise known as Michelle, is a true superhero to me in
Yes.
ways that
Yes.
I didn't know was possible. So thank you.
Yeah. Beth said, I found out after I sold my house in California that my very conservative realtor buries a statue of St. Jude in a corner of every house she puts on the market. She swears by the practice.
Hey, if
And
it
so,
works,
hey,
don't try to fix it.
yes. And Edward has done a similar thing. So, my last question is, if you let go of one old tool, what might you make room for in your practice or in yourself?
Okay, this is actually something I'm actually going back and forth with right now, right? So
Uh-huh.
I am in the process of creating a love box, right? And I am already did the giveaway. I've already done the winner. I know who the winner is, and I'm putting the box together. And I'm so ready because I know that I'm putting something so wonderful for this individual in the box that I'm ultimately going to miss. I know that the universe is making room for something. There's three things in my life that I know I will eventually need, and it will either be this year or at the very beginning of next year. So I know that these three boxes that they are making me thin out of my own stuff, whether
Mhm.
it's decks or tools or writing or poetry or a book, I don't know. It's going to come to me as I build it. What I know is that there's three very specific things that I have wanted for such a long time, and the universe kept telling me to wait, 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 you're not ready, you're not ready, you're not ready. And the first giveaway that I gave, I felt one of them, and I know it's coming soon. This one, as I'm building, I know another one is going to come to me this year.
Mhm.
And then that third box that I'm going to do this year, that ultimately is the basically now the road is paved, the great big ultimate one that you've been waiting on, it will
Uh-huh.
find you. So,
I love
yes, I
that.
do believe
Yes.
that if you pay it forward with good intentions, everything that you think is impossible will be made possible by
Yeah.
those upstairs.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a big fan of is letting go of an old tool gives an opportunity for something new in my practice. It could be in practice for myself. I it doesn't have to be a tool per se. It can be an understanding that I don't need that tool. The tool was holding me back in a certain way.
Mhm.
And Mr. Floyd's universe is says you're on fire.
It is a
So
little warm. It's a little warm.
so yeah, I think it's really important of how we honor things and how we let them go. You know, everybody jokes about um, Marie Kondo and the tidying up and
Uh-huh,
experiencing the joy and appreciating things is silly. I don't think it's silly. I think it's extremely powerful. Appreciate, connect with, move on. Let somebody else have enough love.
uh-huh,
So,
100%.
so, and so here's something big to keep in mind. Sometimes the tool isn't broken. We're just someone new. What do you think about that, Hershey?
Yeah, I think we grew past it, and it knows that we grew past it, and it was there to be a ladder, a stepping stone, a placeholder of the space we needed then, but it knew it was only there for a very short period of time, so it's honored to help have been one of the milestones or the stepping stones that you needed, and ultimately to reach your highest good, your best version of you, to make better choices for yourself. So yes, I
Hmm.
agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yes. Yes. I think sometimes I don't always think this way because sometimes I'm sad because there's grieving when a tool breaks or it has to be let go or it moves on. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
part of grieving and that's a and we have to honor that.
Uh-huh.
So that's really important. I didn't mention that before, but consider that if you are used to something and it makes you comfortable and that thing isn't there, there's a bit of grieving because you have to get used to it not being there.
Mhm.
So Tina needs to go through their closet and
Ooh,
this just in. Oh hell, Marie Kondo. Every Virgo has been doing that for centuries. Of course. So
every Virgo I know is a control master or freak. So, yeah, I could see that happening.
yeah, yeah.
And absolutely go through your closet, and if you have anything that you think fits my world, let me know.
There you
I
go.
love telling people, "Clean out your closet, let me know, send it my way. I'll help you."
There you go. And if you want to get a hold of Hershe the Shadow Reader, her link is in the description. I did
Mhm.
see Madame Maru was putting in contact information earlier, and I do
Yes.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, what do you have coming up for the rest of the week, Hershey?
See, I was actually prepared. I do have my calendar here, so tomorrow is shadow work at 8 p.m. and that's an every Wednesday. Thursday, I may just pop up on your guys's timeline. I don't know when or where, but there is something I'm learning to play around with, and I think I'm gonna
Ah,
start a well, okay, so it's gonna be called guinea pigs, I think, and it's not because I'm calling anyone a pig, but it's those that are willing to let me practice spreads that I create. I don't take them out of a
nice.
book. I create them. I believe Miles is having me do something on Thursday that involves guinea pigs, and basically, if you come into chat, you're making yourself available to me to try different spreads that I'm ultimately trying to figure if it needs to be in a
Nice.
guidebook, a picture book, or if it needs to be in a spread book because I have so many spreads that I have created now that there's more spreads than there is pictures. And Maruda would understand when I just said that. I have books and books and books of spreads, and I need to put
Hmm.
them to use somewhere somehow.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Tina wanted to know what size.
Oh, I mean, unless you're physically like asking.
S- s- s-
All
s-
sizes fit. One size
s-
fits all when it comes to Hershey.
send her an email. We'll just say that. So, um, I have got later today. I have a back and forth with Jamie and Gerald. We have the amazing Timmy Raven on asking the questions.
It's gonna be epic.
Wednesday, Timmy, Linda de Gonzalez, and I are doing Duality in Tarot Part 3. So this is going to be
Hurry up,
insightful.
Brett. I missed a episode. Okay, I've got some catch up work to do.
So
Okay.
it's all right. That's why there's playback. And on Thursday, I have a Laugh and Learn Magic Tool Talk with Diana Bowles. We're talking about sage, the herb sage or the herb.
Ooh.
So
And
that's
she
going to be a good
grows
one.
it too, doesn't she? Oh,
She
so
does.
good.
There you go. And Hershey
Put
said,
on a Christmas list.
"Find the Bluebird merchandise here." So, uh, so
So ultimately, for those that don't know, please go watch the scavenger hunt and then y'all tell us, was it a toucan or was it a pink and blue parrot? Because it was very much pink and blue. So ultimately, my shirt has a whole lot of meaning going on over here. Yep.
it
So I
has
just want y'all to understand the bird that Gerald tried to pass off as a blue bird, but that's
it
all
had
part of the
blue
book.
in it. It
Did
had
it
blue
did
on it.
it did.
Anyhow, okay. We'll get there. Hershey and I are going to say goodbye, and I want to thank you for joining us for this powerful and tender exploration. If this episode stirred memories of tools you've outgrown or offered a new way to honor your magical past, we invite you to carry that reflection with reverence. Whether you bury, burn, rework, or release, may your tools find their rest and may your path continue with lightness and power. And remember, sometimes the tool isn't broken. Sometimes we're just someone new. Everyone, take care. Bye.
Right.